Good morning. I am Madhurima Datta, Zoology and Biology educational content creator. Now's content for B.sC Zoology Honours, M.sc Zoology, CUT PG and CSINet Life Sciences students. Paper Non-Chordates or Invertebrate Zoology, Unit Platyhelminthes, Topic General Characteristics and Form and Function of Platyhelminthes. Form and function of platyhelminthes. At first point is epidermis and muscles. Most turbellarians is a class of the phylum Platyhelminthes, have a cellular ciliated epidermis resting on a basement membrane. It contains rod-shaped rhabditis which swell and form a protective mucus sheath around the body when discharged with water. Most order of turbellarians have a dual gland adhesive organs in the epidermis. These organs consist of three cell types, viscid and releasing gland cells and anchor cells. In contrast to the ciliated cellular epidermis of most turbellarians, adult members of the three parasitic classes have a monociliated and non-ciliated body covering called a syncytial tegument. The term syncytial means that many nuclei are enclosed within a single cell membrane. Adult of all members of Platyhelminthes possesses a syncytial covering that entirely lacks cilia and is designated a tegument. Development of tegument occurs as the several surface layers of the epidermis are shed. Eventually, few cytoplasmic extensions from cell bodies below the basement membrane become the surface covering of the body. The tegument is sometimes called neurodermis. Next, nutrition and digestion. In turbellarians such as Planaria drugesia, the pharynx is enclosed in a pharyngeal sheath and opens posteriorly just inside the mouth, through which it can extend. The intestine has three many branched trunks, one anterior and two posterior. The whole forms a gastrovascular cavity lined with a columnar epithelium. Intestinal secretion contain proteolytic enzymes for some extracellular digestion. Bits of foods are sucked into the intestine where phagocytic cells of the gastrodermis complete digestion, that is intracellular digestion system. Next, excretion and osmoregulation. Excess water is typically removed via osmoregulatory systems. Sometimes osmoregulation and excretions are combined when waste products are dissolved in the water shed from the body. Flatworms have a system of protonephridia that could be used for excretion or osmoregulation. Flatworm protonephridia, that is excretory or osmoregulatory organs closed at the inner end, have flame cells. A flame cell is cup-shaped with a tuft of flagella extending from the inner face of the cup. In some turbellarians and in all Neodermata, the protonephridia form a wire. Beating flagella drive fluid down the collecting ducts and provide a negative pressure to draw fluid through the delicate interlacing protection of the wire. Next, flame cell protonephridia are present also in the parasitic taxa. Monogeneans usually have two excretory pores opening laterally near the anterior. Collecting ducts of the trematodes empty into the excretory bladder that opens to the exterior of by a terminal pore. Next, nervous system. The most primitive flatworm nervous system found in some turbellarians is a subepidermal nerve plexus resembling the nerve net of the Cnidarians. Other flatworms have, in addition to a nerve plexus, 1 to 5 pairs of longitudinal nerve cords lying under the muscle layers. Connecting nervous form ladder type pattern. Their brain is bilobed mass of the ganglion cells arising anteriorly from the ventral nerve cords. Next, sense organs. Active locomotion in flatworms has favored not only civilization in the nervous system but also further evolution of the sense organs. Ocelli or light sensitive receptors are common in turbellarians, monogeneans, and larval trematodes. Tactile cells and chemoreceptive cells are abundant over the body, and in planarians they form definite organs on the auricles. Some species also have statocysts for equilibrium and rheoreceptors for sensing direction of the water current. Next, reproduction and regeneration. Many turbellarians reproduce both asexually and sexually. Asexually, freshwater planarians merely constrict behind the pharynx and separate into two animals, each of which generates, and the missing parts are quick means of the population increases. Trematodes undergo sexual reproduction in their intermediate host snails. Almost all flatworms are monoecious, that is hermaphroditic, but practice cross-fertilization. In some turbellarians, the yolk for nutrition of a developing embryo is contained within the egg cell itself, that is endolecythial, and embryogenesis shows spiral determinate cleavage type of protostomes. Next, trematodes, monogenous cestoses, and many of the turbellarian group share a derived condition in which female gametes contain little or no yolk, and yolk is contributed by the cells releasing from separate organs called vitellaria. Yolk cells are conducted toward a juncture with the oviduct by vitellian ducts. Usually, a number of yolk cells surround the zygote within the eggshells, thus developed is ectolecythial. The entire package consisting of yolk cells and zygote surrounded by the eggshells move into the uterus and finally is released through the common genital pore or a separate uterine pore. Next, male reproductive organs include one, two, or more testes connected to vasa efferentia that join to become a single vas deferens. The vas deferens commonly leads into a seminal vesicle and hence to a papilla-like penis or an extensible copulatory organ called serous. Next, during breeding season, turbellarians develop both male and female organs, which usually open through a common genital pore. After copulation, one or more fertilized eggs and some yolk cells become enclosed in a small cocoon. In some marine form, embryo develop into ciliated free-swimming larvae, very similar to the trochophore larvae of other members of the Lophotrochozoa. Next, monogeneous hatches a free-swimming larva that attach to the next host and develop into juveniles. Larval trematodes emerges from the eggshell as ciliated larva that penetrates a snail intermediate host, or they may hatch only after being eaten by a snail. Now topic has ended for playlist. Please subscribe my YouTube channel Biogenesis by Muslim.